What's happening, guys? We're gonna try to do this one more time. Record this. We'll see what's happening with the shutdown.
Welcome back. Today marks day 2 of the government shutdown. Prediction markets have this shutdown going for 2 weeks after the Senate once again failed to pass the dueling short-term funding bills. Senators are not scheduled to vote again until tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon, in observance of Yom Kippur today. The Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought telling House Republicans that the administration will begin furloughing federal employees within the next day or two. I spoke with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, on this program yesterday. Watch. Speaker, can you assess what you're expecting in terms of the job cuts and how severe they could be?
While a shutdown is very damaging for real American people who depend upon government services, it can provide an opportunity to downsize the scope and the scale of government, which is something that we've always wanted to do. And so in a way, Chuck Schumer has now handed the keys to the kingdom to the executive branch under President Trump to do some things that we would not otherwise be able to do because we would never get Democrat votes for them.
Joining me now is Oklahoma Congressman Tom Cole, the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee. Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for being here this morning.
Hey, Maria, thanks for having me.
So President Trump just posted on Truth that he's going to be meeting with Russ Vought today to discuss which, quote, Democrat agencies he's recommending cutting and whether or not those cuts should be permanent. What are you expecting in terms of job cuts, agency cuts, and how long do you think this goes on?
Well, number one, it depends on the Democrats how long it goes on. The House has already done its work. We've passed legislation that would keep the government open. As you know, the Senate's dealing with that now. We have a bipartisan majority in favor of that, but only 55 votes. We're still 5 short. So when the Senate comes around, the government will go get back open and operating as per normal. In terms of what I expect in terms of cuts, look, I think it really depends on what you happen to do for the federal government. I represent a very federal-heavy district. I have Tinker Air Force Base, the largest air depot in the world. It handles the entire bomber fleet for the United States, the entire tanker fleet, the entire AWACS fleet. It's a really significant installation with 16,000 federal employees. I have at the other end of my district the Home and the Field Artillery, Fort Sill, several thousand civilian employees there, air defense artillery, anti-drone warfare. I think those jobs are largely safe. The same thing, we lost almost nobody in DOGE, largely because the work they do is irreplaceable. I think if it's more bureaucratic, if you happen to be in the Virginia area or the Maryland or D.C. area, I think it's probably more at risk. But again, I expect them to make logical decisions. These are decisions the president and Russ did not ask to make. They wanted to keep the government open. They have not argued for a shutdown. This is a Democratic, self-inflicted political disaster for them, in my view, and frankly, a real damaging blow to the country. The sooner they sober up and reopen the government, the less damage that will be done.
Well, I mean, look, I guess there's a wide variance between agencies on who gets paid and when, but if we're still shut down for the rest of the week, federal workers will likely get paid on October 5th for the last 2 weeks of September, but they won't get paid on October 20th for the first 2 weeks of October. But they'll get that money once the government reopens?
Well, we hope they do. There's no assurance of that. That's been the practice in the past. And it's not just directly federal. Look, our entire military will be on duty but unpaid. Every air traffic controller across the United States on duty but unpaid. I can go through group after group. That's not fair to them.
Yeah.
It's not fair to their families. It creates enormous uncertainty. And lots of people, whether we like it or not, live paycheck to paycheck. They got a mortgage payment. They got to support their family. They got a car payment. So it's absolutely reckless to do what Democrats are doing, and they're doing it for things unrelated to the day-to-day functioning of the American government. They're doing it for Medicaid subsidies and programs. They're doing it for tax stuff. It's not things, and frankly, none of this stuff is running out anytime soon.
Yeah.
We're talking about a short-term CR to protect the American people and keep folks working and compensated.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Trump administration may very well look at this as an opportunity to cut down government. They're already freezing $26 billion, which was meant for blue states in the first wave of cuts for federal projects following this shutdown. They include $18 billion for New York transit projects, $8 billion for green energy projects in 16 Democrat-run states, including California and Illinois. And you just said, you know, the Republicans just want this short-term CR to get us through mid-November. But, Mr. Chairman, let's say, hypothetically speaking, government opens soon, although the prediction markets have it for 2 weeks at least closed. But let's say you get this back up and running. How long is it going to take you to get those appropriations bills done and get back to normal?
We have three that are essentially done right now.
Okay.
And this shutdown has frankly delayed them. We could have had a package. We'd be working on another package. It'll probably take a couple of CRs. And again, it's hard to predict. It depends on how willing the Democrats are to negotiate. But we're not far apart. These are things that are not hard to do. The problem is they've taken the appropriations process and taken it hostage to achieve goals that aren't related to appropriations at all. So they literally have put the government and every federal employee at risk to achieve something that doesn't have anything to do with them. It's just an incredible, boneheaded play in terms of politics, because every day the situation is going to be worse. And I think the American people will hold those that shut down the government responsible. They always have in the past. And frankly, none of these shutdowns, whether they were Republican or Democratic, inspired, have ever achieved their objective. It's a really dumb thing to do. Wow. And I'm surprised politicians as experienced as Mr. Schumer and Mr. Jeffries have fallen into that trap.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching your work on the appropriations. Thank you, sir. Tom
Thanks,
Cole
Maria.
joining us this morning on Capitol Hill. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, it's going down. It's official. The government has closed down. It's going to the third day. There's a lot of people that are going to have work, have employment. They get their last paycheck on the 5th of October. But on the 20th, if it's still closed, there's not going to be no paycheck. Only certain essential workers. I believe essential workers are not going to get paid. But the U.S. Congress is going to get paid, but all the military is not going to get paid. There are going to be many other areas not going to pay. And also, this administration, President Trump, is going to be laying off a bunch of people, about hundreds of thousands. And the appropriation is not. They said they had, since the U.S. government has closed down. They had three appropriations that's going to be stalled due to the U.S. government closing down. So this is affecting us. There's jobs. Then they're going to be laying off and actually terminating positions. So it's amazing what's going to happen right now that people don't see coming. I know people all across the country is feeling this at the academic level, at the federal state employment level. There's going to be basically a domino effect because people with their salaries, they pay their bills. There's many Americans, thousands of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck. And if they don't have a paycheck, they can't pay their mortgages, their rents. It's sad to say, people do not plan. The average American, not the average, but a percentage of Americans do not plan. They live paycheck to paycheck for whatever reason. I don't know why. That's not none of my business. That's the individual personal business. I believe once I heard this shutdown was coming, I got prepared. I started because I was behind. I'd have been paycheck to paycheck. It's sad because I'm raising a child and I'm raising a young man, not child but a young man, and I put a lot of money and wherewithal into his development, and now I'm pushing towards that. But I had to prepare for what's happening right now, and I had to reallocate some things to be able to take care of to push time out. But everybody's not going to be able to do that. Everybody's not going to take this thing serious. Everybody is not going to be political. Where right now we got three branches of government. The U.S. Congress is just the branch, and this the branches with the purse, with the money that authorize the money. So they're halting everything. They shutting it all down. This is you get to see the power. Now you see why America has three branches of government. Now you see the power of the Congress. They're on they off on vacation doing something. We gotta wait till they come back. Till they come back and on the floor, and then they can do the vote. It still can't decide to the finalization. There's other ways can do it, but it is looking like that's going to happen because the both camps, the both partisan groups are not in agreement with certain things. So that's going to affect many other uh, opportunities for the American citizens. It's going to affect negatively. So I wish everybody safe and Godspeed, but get prepared for what's going to happen across the American landscape, economically speaking, financially speaking. You know, we got problems with Section 8. There's been budget cuts with the Section 8 program. A lot of people get losing their homes. Americans lose their home. We're having a big immigration thing. The border's been shut down on the southern borders. There's a lot of oversaturation of people that don't have employment, unemployment. We have all kind of issues going on in the American economy, and to have the government shut down is tremendously a major effect on American society. But I wish everybody success. I wish none but love, and get prepared because it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. And watching the media uh, as a commentator, social media commentator, this is a reaction video on the news, watching the media on both sides, the partisan parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, and seeing how they both stands, and watching and seeing all the manipulation in the media and how they're trying to push people to their platform. Um, it's amazing to see everything. So, like I said, I wish everyone's the best. I hope you stay aware of what's going on and take care of your families. You know, pray, ask God to intervene if you're a religious believer. If you're not, um, wish best of luck. Um, I wish y'all come together and write letters and move from there.